Hi, I'm Liz. I go by Stitch by Liz with an underscore over on Instagram, and welcome to Flosstube 69. Yep. Today is Friday the 7th of February 2025. Yeah, if you're new, welcome. Thank you so much for clicking on one of my videos. If you're returning, welcome back to the Hot Mess Express. That is me. If you are new, this is my little corner of YouTube where I talk about all things cross stitch. This little corner up here is where my husband and unpaid editor pops in whatever comments he wants to. This little corner is where the tiny Dark Lord may appear to share whatever he wants to. He also may appear on the back of my chair. He also may appear on my project bags, because if you can see this dent, like this little V shape, he's managed to get up there and just parks himself on my project bags. So like they're all in a like file folder holder situation, and they're metal. There's two next to each other with a gap in between for my bigger project bags, like my big Jasmine custom bags or my Lynn bags. So they fit in between, and he's managed, I mean, I know how he gets up there, but he gets up there and he just sits on top, which is really frustrating. There's a chair on the other side of this unit. If you can see this is my Dyson fan because it's been hotter than hell here lately. So on the other side of this cabinet, which like my cross stitch fabrics in here, my patterns are in here, etc. There's a chair. The chair that used to be in this corner, I've put over there just for now. It will get moved because I can't have him parking himself on my WIPs. Now, the reason I have moved the chair is because I got my Stitchy chair. It's amazing. It's green velvet. It's from IKEA. It's wingback. I love it. I've wanted it for ages. My little ghosty pillow is from TK Maxx. It's amazing. I've had it for a very long time, waiting for my chair. So that's what's been happening. We went to IKEA. We bought that because my work gave me a $200 Prezi voucher, which I could exchange for a whole bunch of different companies, and I changed it for IKEA so I could get the chair I wanted, which was amazing. What else has been happening? Not much. My stomach is still not being cooperative. It's been okay. Like I still have pain, and whatever. And then yesterday I was nauseous all day. I had really bad reflux all day, and I'm just like, I'm so over this. It's terrible. But I have a specialist appointment keyed up, which is great. So we'll see what they say. They say it's not until March. But yeah, so my door is open. Ross is at work. My door is open, and the tiny Dark Lord will probably cause havoc because he's very naughty. I can see him. He's just sitting at the door. He may jump up on the chair behind me, and he's not allowed on that chair because he destroys everything, and I don't want him on there. But he's left the room, so we'll see what happens. So I'm going to jump into it. I don't have any new starts. I know, shock horror. I don't have any like fully finishes or finished stitches. However, I do have a finish for now because I'm caught up on one of my stitch along, and it's not one of my old stitch alongs. I mean, the frame came out last year and I stitched the frame last year, but the Mythical Creatures stitch along by Climbing Goat Designs, the first release came out, which was amazing. And I managed to stitch the first release in like 2 days, 3 days. Anyway, this is the Phoenix. So cool. So much confetti and so much color changes. But that is the Phoenix, and that's my finish for now because the second part, the next creature hasn't been released, won't be until March. I mean, sorry, not March, end of February. So this is where that's at the moment. Both of my needle minders that are on here are from Ginger Stitch AU. So that'll go back in its bag. It's a Fiberlicious fabric. I don't This might be Life in Universe by Fiberlicious. I'm pretty sure it is. Don't hold me to it. It could be a completely different one. The info's in my WIP parade. Okay, into my WIPs. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 WIPs. 9 WIPs this fortnight, which is a lot of WIPs. I was prepping for, if you could hear that, that's my stomach, I apologize. I was prepping for this video and I'm like, oh my god, there's so many WIPs I've worked on in this fortnight. And it's like, but when? Like when did I work on these things? Because I have no idea. My first 2, however, I work on, I would say daily, but at this point it's like almost daily. I did not stitch on it. I did not stitch yesterday's one because yesterday was a day and I just didn't want to have to fuss around, so I'll do both today's. So the first one is, let me move this out of the way. First one is 324 by Works by ABC. This is what it looks like. I am working horizontally, whatever fits in the Q-snap. So I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 motifs across, and then as soon as that 7 is finished, I move on to the next row. So I am in this row currently, which is super exciting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, because I get a color other than pink or red to work on. Buddy, you can't, you're not going to fit there. Oh, okay. Can you fit? You can fit. This is not conducive. Okay, he's on my notes now. Hopefully he sits there long enough to be chill. I'm stitching this on a 36 count even weave from Sew It All Australia. And this is, no buddy, you can't do that. I say to not work with animals here. So this is where I'm up to. This was, what's today? Friday. This was Wednesday's motif. Terrible. He's about to get in trouble because he's trying to steal. He tries to steal my pens. Anyway, this was Wednesday's motif, so I've still got Thursdays and today to do. They don't really take long, which is good, but yeah, this is where I'm up to, which is super exciting. The next one that I have been working on is the sequel, so 324 the sequel, also by Works by ABC. This is a black work backstitching situation. This is what it'll look like when it's done. I'm doing this in the same way I'm doing 324 with the 7 across, and this is where I'm up to. This is stitched on a 25 count even weave. She calls for 1 strand and 2 strand, but it's all stitched over 1. So this is where I'm up to. I love this. I think I love these squares, the one where they're just like, it's like satin stitches. And these ones, I love them. Anyway, this one was really easy to do. He actually sat on my chart the other day, fell asleep on my chart. So yeah, that's where this one is up to. I'm really enjoying stitching these. I'm stitching these along with Mel and Chloe, and it's been really fun. Chloe posts daily, so if you want to see them daily, go follow Chloe on Instagram. Yeah, she's stitching them. She's stitching them daily, but she's doing them diagonally. So is Mel, but it's sort of all different. Anyway, go give both of them a follow and go have a look at what they are doing. All right, the next up, actually there's a lot of stitch alongs this week. Next up is another stitch along. This is the Blackwater Sirens stitch along by Bella Filipina. I am behind because of my 3000 frogging situation from January, and I have not been able to catch up, which is really frustrating. However, I also made the choice to stitch 1/1 skin, which was a decision in itself. But, you know, it is what it is. This is where I'm up to. So this is stitched on a 32 count even weave that I hand dyed myself. I'm not sure if that's showing up super accurate because you can't see the green. It has green in it and you can't see, like there's a green splotch here. That you, I honestly hate the way fabric shows up sometimes. Do I have, I don't even think my white is gonna, see, you can't even see it. This is a problem. Anyway, it's purple. It's like a grungy purple with green splotches, but it's not going to show up. Anyway, this is where I'm up to. So all the 2/2 crosses are done on her. I am working with the 1/1, but she is stunning. Like, she's just beautiful. Which, I mean, Sirens are meant to be, but she's beautiful. So I think I might work on her this weekend, see how much more 1/1 I can get. But because I'm counting my stitches, it takes forever because every time I stitch one square, I mark down that it's 4 stitches because it's 1/1. So just because I want to see how many stitches I get done this year. And I'm counting like back stitching, French knots, everything. So, but this is where she's up to. Needle minders are all from Ginger Stitch AU. This is part 4. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, this is part 4. Part 5 is out. Part 5 is her tail. And part 6, I'm pretty sure part 6 comes out either next week or the week after. No, I'm pretty sure it's next week. Yep, part 6 comes out next week. So I need to get a wriggle on with her. I'm not going to finish it with everyone else, obviously. I'm not beading or backstitching as I go where it meets. I'm not backstitching where it meets the fabric because these rock bits will, I feel like it's going to be like filled in, and I don't want, not so much this siren because her backstitching is like against her own skin, but the first siren, I don't know if I'll be able to, if she'll show up. Yeah. So the first siren, because this is in my node tube, I probably shouldn't keep it in here. Let me see if I can flip this. So the first siren, I've done some back stitching in her arm where it meets her arm, but where it meets the actual fabric, I haven't back stitched because there's likely going to be the rocks filled in. I assume at some point because it looks like that on the mock-up. So who knows? We shall see. But hopefully she is in my plans to get some more work this weekend. Okay, next up is yet another stitch along. Yet another Sal, because why not? And that is the Dragons A Field Guide Stitch Along by Climbing Goat Designs. This was the stitch along last year. I did not keep up. I had 2 dragons completed and I hadn't even completed the border. I've got a tiny bit of border left. But I finished another dragon. So this is my 310 that I need to backstitch. Its name, I don't know how to pronounce it, so I'm not going to. So I've done the Welsh dragon and the Wyvern, and now I've done this creepy guy. I've been using this for fandom this week, fandom stitching. So that's how I've managed to get him finished. And then what I'm going to do is move on to the one that's up here, Fanfare. I think that's it. I don't know. It's a purple one. I don't really like it, and I just want to stitch it because if I don't stitch it now, then I'm going to drag my feet on it. But I love the one that's up here, which is like this bird dragon. I love the English dragon. It reminds me of Endana from Fourth Wing series. There's a Hydra, there's a Japanese dragon, there's a Chinese dragon. So this is going to be cool, but I just want to get it finished. Anyway, he's done. Needle minder, which is the dragon horde minder, is from Ginger Stitch AU. It's in the Q-snap because I was literally working on it last night. Next up, if you guessed another stitch along, you would be correct. This is the Secret Grove stitch along by Needlelot Designs. It's I am way behind on this one. I'm definitely not keeping up, but it's so much fun. So much fun to stitch on. So I'm just going to fix my fabric because you don't need to see it all. I do have a hanging thread, so I do apologize. Let me move my needle minder because it's blocking some of my stitching. Okay, so this is where I'm up to. So I'm pretty sure I finished part 1. I have not done part 2. I've started on part 3, which is this part down here. My needle minder is just stuck together because magnets are strong. So yeah, that's where I'm up to. This is stitched on a 32 count at last by Color Cascade. It's like, that's fairly true to colour. But yeah, so the only change I've made so far, oh my gosh, these needle minders. What has just happened? Okay, one of them has completely stuck to the other one at the back. Okay, we're not going to deal with that. The only change I've made is I've used a bronze, I'm not sure if it's super showing up, bronze treasure braid for the key. So that is that stitch along. Okay, no more stitch alongs for the rest of my WIPs. Okay, next up, I do have this in the Q-snap because I am so close to finishing this. And this is Apothecary Shoppe by the Witchy Stitcher. Most people I've seen have been stitching this on a fairly neutral with the 310 or have been stitching it on a dark fabric with white. I went a bit crazy. And yeah, this is where I'm up to with mine. This is stitched on an 18 count. I don't know if it's called confetti or if it's one of the fairy colors because it was unnamed, but Tammy at Color Cascade shared a dye she did recently and it had the name and it was almost identical. So I think it's that one, which is the fairy one. But look, I'm so close to a finish. I just need to match this border up, do the little skull situation on this side, and then ARY is all I've got left. So it's so close. I think it's something like 600 stitches, probably not even that. So I could potentially get this finished this weekend if I also chose to do so. Okay, next up is Spook Haunt by Hello from Liz Matthews. I have got this for fandom as well, and this got 200 stitches. It also fit a prompt this week, so I used it for the prompt. I'm doing, it's not a full color conversion. It's the same colors as charted. I'm just using overdyes and hand dyes for them. So this is where I'm up to. You can't see the ghost. You can see him really well in person. Oh, there you go. There you go. He's a lot brighter. I'm using B5200 for the ghost because it shows up more. This is a 40 count flax by Whoopsie Daisy Designs. I wonder if I do the white, will it? Yeah, sort of. Anyway, you can see him in person really well. I will come a bit closer. I'm stitching this one over 2. So I'm using B5200 for the white. I'm using, what am I using for? Excuse my chair. I am using I'm using a bunch of CGT Nudes Cottage Garden threads. So I'm using this blackish color for the black. I'm using, there's a Weeks, there's Color and Cotton, there is Hand Dyed by Rolanda, a lot of Cottage Garden threads is what I'm using. Buddy, you can't steal my threads. You can't take them. You're not allowed. Good times. I'm not sure even what you could see of me showing the threads, but because this, he's got his big head's in the way. Anyway, so yeah, that is where I'm up to with Spook Haunt. No, you can't steal that, buddy. We're not playing now. All right, next up is, can I move your paw? Thank you. Next up is The Collectors by Autumn Lane Stitchery. I was going to say Autumn Lane Studio. That's not right. Autumn Lane Stitchery. No, ow. I pulled this out. I pulled this out for fandom as well, I'm pretty sure. Anyway, I ended up spending a day recharting it to put into Pattern Keeper because I love Autumn Lane Stitchery, but unsupported charts just so slow. They make stitching so slow. So I put it into Pattern Keeper and it just, I ran with it. He's going to try and attack this. This is where I'm up to, which is amazing. I'm going to fold it down because I've already done the top half. So I filled in from here down of this collector. I worked this all the way down. I've put in some of the thorns. He's not making this very easy. I put in the greeny bits. Move your head. So yeah, this got a ton of work. Needle minders are from Ginger Stitch AU. This is stitched on an 18 count that I hand dyed myself. It's also washed out. There we go. So yeah, this got a ton of work. I moved in some more of this light green. If you can hear him cleaning himself and licking my thumb, he's very loud and I apologize. All right, 2 more WIPs left and that's all I've got because I don't even have haul this week. For February, Fandom Stitching is doing full coverage February, and it's for people to try full coverage if they haven't. If you've seen my WIP parade, you know I have some full coverage, so I'm just using one of those because there was no way I'm starting another one. So I have pulled out my oldest WIP, and that is Sorcerer Mickey. It's from 447 Shades of Cross Stitch on Etsy. It's no longer available. I'm not sure if you message them, if they can do a custom listing for you, if they still have it. I'm not sure. I know a couple of people have asked me where they can get it, but unfortunately it's not listed anymore. I have done a decent amount of work on this. So, pens. This is where I'm up to. So I've almost finished another page. So I've been working on this never-ending 3844. I'm still working on it. Literally, my thread's dangling here. And then I'm going to go in and fill in the rest of the page. So this page should get done in February, and hopefully then I can move down and start on the next row, which is super exciting. I have fallen in love with this piece again. Like, I just want to work on this all the time, but then like my floss tubes will literally only have one WIP in them. He's being so naughty. See, this is why we can't have nice things. Can I just look at this? You can't bite me, buddy. You can't munch on me. Yeah, so I fall in love with this project again. The 2/1 on 18 count full coverage stitching is just, this happens all the time. I fall in love with this piece and then think, oh yeah, I'm going to start all the full coverage on 18 count. Okay, I've got one more WIP left. I'm not going to move him yet. That I want to do 2/1 full coverage, like for 2/1 full cross on 18 count for all my full coverage. And then then the senses kick in and it's like, it's not happening, Liz. But I absolutely love this. Maybe if it's not a massive full coverage, I'll do another one, but we shall see. Speaking of massive full coverage, and I know this one's a fan favorite. I know this is one of, I know Leann at Small Town Stitches loves this. So I did work on it. It didn't get much. Oh, I carried that thread a long way. It didn't get much work on it, but this is my Villains BAP. It's from 447 Shades of Cross Stitch as well, I think. Are you going to fall? Anyway, this is where I'm up to. So you can see the Queen of Hearts is coming together, which is super nice. He jumped down. So what I'm doing, I did put up on my Instagram, what if I did the top 4 colors color complete them for the whole WIP. And I'm still tempted to do that, because then it gives me anchor points for like other colors and stuff. So like this is not just 310, it's 310 and 939, which is what I've got. 939 on this and then 310 on this needle. I've got two different needles going at the same time. Just to see what it's like to at least do those two. And I'd probably do them per page, so that way I've got, you know, some semblance of order. I did have a whole bunch of park threads across this page break here. I've worked them all in, so that's what the majority of what I was doing. So like all this has been worked in, all this has been worked in. I've worked in some more in her face, some of this. So yeah, I worked them in just so I could get them finished, so I'm not having the park threads, because I'm going to try and do this 310 and 939 for the whole WIP. Now I'm just going to quickly grab my tablet because I want to show you, and I know Ross could probably insert a photo, but I just want to, no, I don't want to get into that project. I don't even know what that project is. So there is 34,230 stitches of 310 left, and there is 11,051 stitches of 939 left. So that could keep me going for ages. But I'm going to zoom out and I'm going to just show you. This is what I've done compared to the whole WIP. Now, this is the 310 highlighted. There is a lot, and as you can see, it provides outlines for everyone. So like you can see Ursula's tentacles and one of the eels. Like this is the outline for Hades. You can definitely see Cruella. You can see Jafar, the Magic Mirror, the Evil Queen, Mother Gothel. And then I do the 939, and all of a sudden like Maleficent appears. Like, so it's going to be a massive anchor point. From there, if I do those two, what I can then do is work from smallest to highest, because smallest, for example, is 3809. There's 116 stitches and they're in the middle of nowhere. So at least if I do the 310, if I do the 310 and 939, then I'm not left with like ninja stitches on every page. We'll see. That's the plan. If it works for me, yay. I really want to like try and work on that for a weekend at some point to see how it goes. And see if it works for me. If it doesn't work for me, I'm going to go back to working by page. But a couple of people messaged me on Instagram when I put up a story about it, and they said that they got bored doing the block colors. But I don't know. I don't mind doing block colors, especially in 10 stitch. It goes so quickly. So we'll see what happens. So that was my WIPs for the week. I have my January stats because I'm keeping track of everything. So in January, I worked on 17 different WIPs out of my 50 whatever, which was good. And in January, I stitched a total of 21,031 stitches, which is a lot. 3,000 of those stitches were frogged and restitched probably twice, which is frustrating, but hey ho. That also included, January also included when did I go back to work? On the 6th. So 5 full days of no work and stitching. So that's probably where a lot of my work got put in. I am keeping track on a spreadsheet daily with how many stitches I get per day. I have my planner. My planner is the Insight Editions Harry Potter planner. So I am keeping track daily. And the way I do it is, let's find a page where I haven't like crossed stuff out. I keep track in the top. of like what project and how many stitches I did that day. So for example, yesterday was an in-office day. I only got 365 stitches on the dragons. In-office days, so Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, they're the days I'm physically in the office. They are probably my lowest stitch days because I take a WIP with me to work. I work on it at lunch. Wednesday's not so much because it's a core office day, so most of the time we sit at lunch chatting. But definitely Tuesday and Thursday I work on my WIP. But they are my lowest stitch count days because I'm in office. You know, there's no stitching before work, and by the time I get home after work, I'm exhausted. So I get stitching, but it's not a lot. So that is that. My plans for the next 2 weeks, I have no idea. Whatever fandom prompts come up, it'll most likely be one of my 25 for 25 that I have picked for fandom. So you may see a lot of the same WIPs. I definitely want to work on Sorcerer Mickey some more. So yeah, my plans, Sorcerer Mickey and whatever else I work up for fandom. We'll see what happens. Hopefully I can get Apothecary shop finished. And yeah, we'll go from there. If you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching. Feel free if you want to leave a cat emoji in the comments for this little crazy man. Let me know what you're stitching on as well. But yeah, if you have made it this far, thank you so much. Do all the YouTubey things, like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye.